This video will cover the steps in how to create elevation views and plan views of a SketchUp model. This model has already been set up with different scenes and different visibilities of the different levels. For exterior views, using these view buttons work pretty well. If the view toolbars aren't visible, you can find them under View, Toolbars, and then scrolling down to the bottom, that's the views. You can also turn on other of these toolbar sets to follow along with this video. Clicking on one of them, you can see right away we're looking at the front. It's got some perspective on it. We can change that by going to Camera, Parallel Projection. Now we can zoom up closer to the view and then make a scene. Go to the scene panel here and have a little plus sign. This adds a scene to our model. And after it's added, we can give it a name such as front, or perhaps south elevation, or whatever particular view it is. This still has some shadows. I'll take that off, get the shadows off. Typically, working drawings don't have shadows. And then I would go ahead and update the scene using this update button. From here, now that we've got the camera and the shadow settings, I can change to a different orientation and make a new scene. I can continue doing that with the exterior views. If I need to go back to the front, click on the Scene tab up here, left, the other Scene tab. Interior views can be set up in a similar way. You want to be able to see the inside of your model, and then click on the Position Camera tool. Put it on the floor plan somewhere that you're thinking, and click and drag in the view you want to face. Then go to Camera Parallel Projection to get rid of the perspective distortion, and then you can zoom up on the area you need. In this case, I want to go ahead and show my ceiling because there is some vault to it. So I'll look in my layers and select my ceiling. With this, I can now save this scene and give it a name. If you do not want the furniture visible, you can easily remove it by making the layer not visible. All my furniture pieces were on the furniture layer, which made that easy to remove. What if it's not the island that we want to see, but rather the cabinetry on the other side? Again, look downwards from your model. Set up a scene where you have the ceiling not visible, and you can look inside the model. And then position camera tool between the island and the cabinets. Click and drag towards the view that you want. Again, choose Camera Parallel Projection and zoom up. Go ahead and put the ceiling back to visibility so we can see the ceiling. And now we have the cabinetry against the wall. And we can save that scene using Scene Manager. We can switch them between different scenes depending on what we want to see. Click the Position Camera tool, direction you want to see, Camera Parallel Projection. Now we see the other side. Take off the furniture, put on the ceiling. You can zoom up on the cabinetry on this side. Add a scene. You can return to these views again and again, depending on what in particular you want to focus. Floor plans are slightly trickier in that you have to use a different tool to set it up. Looking down, I can then use the section tool to create a section plane. I want to click a horizontal surface because this will be a plan view. Give it a name that makes sense, or keep the default name. Then you want to go move that plane down about 4 feet so that we're cutting through doors and we're cutting through windows. Using the top view and then taking off the section visibility, I can look down and then I can go to camera parallel projection, and now this is a straight parallel view without any sort of perspective shown. Notice the walls are filled in. My particular settings have the walls filled in this red, but you can make it be any color. This is the section fill tool. If it's not on, you just see the inside of the wall is hollow. If it is turned on, you can see it with shading. If it's not fully shaded, there could be a void somewhere in the model. There could be a hole where the wall is not complete, and you'd have to go search it out. In this case, this is all nicely fully shaded. Changing the color of the shading can be done with the Styles menu. Click on Styles, and then click on the Home button, and that's the active style I've got right now. Click on Edit, and in the last tab right here, they have the section fill setting, where I can change the color to anything that I would prefer. Black is the default value for this setting, but I prefer a little color in my walls. You can notice that in this view, the doors are shown partially open. To make this look even more like an architectural drawing, I would like to show the door swing and open 90 degrees, not 45. My door component has that already built in, so that I can go to my layer manager, make door CAD layer visible and door not visible. And now if I update this scene in my scene manager, I will have it with this door swinging 90 degrees and looking like you would in a standard architectural drawing. Let's look at that door component a little closer. The door component is made up of 3 parts. They're controlled through the layer manager. There's the door slab itself, the door swing, and the frame. The door slab and the swing are in separate layers so that they could be controlled through the layer manager and control the visibility. To create section views, you would use the section tool, put a section plane to the side, give it a name, and then move it in position using the move tool where you want to cut through. Maybe put the roof and the ceiling back on. And then you can orient the scene, do perspective, camera parallel projection. After all the scenes are done, you can export them out as images and then use them in presentation programs or other software. If you have the student version or the pro version, you can put them in LayOut, which is really the best choice. I'll go over more of that in part 2.